Hi, second grade students. We are going to go over, probably kind of briefly, this isn't kind of an easy page. We're going to be looking at page 75, and at the top it says chapter 23, lesson 3, practice 1. It says fill in the blanks on the envelope with the sample parts below and draw a stamp in the proper place on the envelope. So reference 44 is going to be our reference page. Might not even really need it. This isn't too tough of a lesson, but let's go ahead. Sample parts of an envelope. So let's say you just wrote that friendly letter that we talked about writing a couple weeks ago, and now you're ready to mail it, and you need to know how to send it. So the writer always goes here, and the receiver always goes here. So, and I would like it if you kids could number them for now. Let's go ahead. Whoops. Let's go ahead and write Gloria. Try to get a little closer. Gloria Peterson, 13. And please remember, students, that street names are proper nouns. So please, most of you got them, most of you did make them capitalized, but a few of you didn't. So I just want to remind you of that. 13 West Plains Drive. Ran out of room a little bit, but that's okay. And then Casper, Wyoming. Also, of course, cities and states are, of course, both capitalized because they too are proper nouns. One thing though, a couple of you forgot to do was put a comma after the city. So before you write the state, please remember to put a comma. So Casper is the city in this case, and then now we're going to write WY for Wyoming. Alphabetically, that's the last state in our song, isn't it? And then here we can write 56400. And that's perfectly fine to put a zip code there. I don't know if yes, I think I did tell you kids that zip code was actually, it's an acronym for zonal, that's the Z, improvement, that's the I, plan, and that's the P, ZIP, zip. And of course, now it's become a regular word. Sometimes acronyms do that. And then the receiver over here, we're going to write Kathy. Whoops. Since I put Gloria on the line, let's go ahead. Kathy will go here. They must be related too. Gloria Peterson, Kathy Peterson. I'm not gonna go ahead and write the whole address. I want you to write it though. But for time's sake, I think my videos have been a little too long. So let's go ahead. Before you turn this into me, I do want the whole address and city and state and zip written there. One other thing I'd like you to do is postage stamps go up in the right-hand corner. Usually you need just one, but there are times you might need more. And then you are allowed to make a cute little design. In fact, they ask you, draw a stamp in the proper place on the envelope. So you will get points for drawing a stamp, and you don't really have to put anything on it, I guess. You could put just maybe a happy face, and so on. Let's move on down to the bottom practice. And of course, for this, we are using the information here. We're going to match the definitions and write the correct letter of the word beside each definition. That you probably, let's go ahead and just do one, but the rest I'm pretty sure you can do on your own, kiddos. Let's go ahead and say, person who wrote the letter. Was it Kathy Peterson? No, Kathy Peterson is receiving the letter. So guess what? It was Gloria Peterson. That is B. I'm going to cross off B over here, and so on. So that's our lesson on that page. I'm going to try to get another lesson squeezed into this video. Oh, on the back, oftentimes I put, okay, optional. That'd be good practice for you kids to write these, but I know you have lots of other work right now. So we could go ahead, skip those, and we're going to talk about these practices. Chapter 25, Lesson 3 practice, and Chapter 26, Lesson 1 practice. First of all, let's go over this one. I hope you still have your reference book. Please turn to page 31. I'm going to underline it so you can see it better. 31. You see, I underlined it, page 31. And we're going to go to reference 47. 3 main parts of the library. It's whether it's a public library or a school library. Like we have a nice library at our school. Even a home library. I've had my own libraries categorized like this too. I want you to look it over with me quickly. A lot of you know this already, but let's review. Fiction section. Fiction books contain stories about people, places, or things that are not true. So somebody sat down and made up a story in their mind and wrote it. Now sometimes some of the background, some of the places might be real, but it's still considered not true if the story is not true. Nonfiction section. That's actually my favorite part. Nonfiction books contain information and stories that are true. So I worked for almost 9 years at a public library in Oregon, and I absolutely loved nonfiction section's going to have religion, business, health, history, my favorite, geography, biographies, lots more, cooking. So that is our nonfiction section. Reference section. Now, a lot of times in libraries, you are not allowed to check out reference books. Sometimes you are, but let's go ahead and read about it. The reference section is designed to help you find information on many topics. The most common reference books are the dictionary and the encyclopedia. Okay, remember, I hope you kids remember that a dictionary is a book, one of my favorite books also, and it helps you define words, what kind of words, sometimes word origins, how they're pronounced. And of course, encyclopedias have lots and lots of wonderful information about science and history and all kinds of things. So let's go ahead now. You can put your reference book down. Let's go to the back of page 76. Page 76 on your practice. I provided all of you with it. And we're going to focus on this section right here. It says Chapter 25, Lesson 3, Practice. Underline the correct answer in each sentence. It's gonna. I'm pretty sure we just went over it, and you are totally allowed to go refer back to your reference book as you're answering these. But please go ahead and just underline. It says nonfiction books contain information and stories that are. And if you can't remember, like I said, look here again. Or if you can remember, go ahead and underline the correct answer. Fiction books contain information and stories that are blank, true or not true. The most common reference books are the dictionary and the encyclopedia. Is that true or not true? You kids can do that on your own, okay? Now we're also going to take a look at, let's move down here, Chapter 26, Lesson 1, Practice. Underline the correct homonym in each sentence. You second graders have done this quite a bit this school year, and sometimes it's not that easy. So guess what? You still have a reference section in your reference book if you're not sure on some of the homonyms. That is on page 17 of your reference book, page 17, and then at the top it says reference 20, homonym chart. And all of the homonyms, we should probably review what is a homonym. A homonym is two or more words that sound exactly alike but are spelled differently and have different meanings. Let's take a look. Let's randomly pick here. Peace. P-E-A-C-E. Peace and quiet. Jesus brings peace to us. And then peace, P-I-E-C-E. That kind of peace is a part, like have a piece of pie or pizza. So obviously they are spelled completely different. They mean different things. But people do get them mixed up because they sound exactly alike. Our language actually has a lot of homonyms. Not all languages have that many. So if you need to go ahead and go back to this reference section to complete this bottom section here. All right? Some of you might know already, but I remember some kids struggling a little bit with homonyms. So please do your best to get that one right. Okay, kiddos, I'm going to log out now, and our next, please be ready with page 103. It's going to be a test, and there are some things I need to help you with. All right, bye, kids.